indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here is the resolution if you want to do the proclamation.
Okay, we can.
Read that out. Did you want to read it out or?
Oh, it'd be more appropriate for the board to.
Okay. Tracy can read it.
Resolution 23-19, whereas the community action has made an essential contribution to individuals and families across the nation by creating economic opportunities and strengthening communities, and whereas the community action is a robust state and local force, connected people in life-changing services and create pathways to prosperity in 99% of all American counties, and whereas the community action builds and promotes economic stability and an essential aspect in enabling and enhancing stronger communities and stable homes, and whereas community action promotes community-wide solutions to challenges throughout our cities, suburbs, and rural areas, and whereas community action delivers involvement, services, and supports and creates greater opportunities for families and children to succeed, and whereas community action insists on community participation, involvement ensures that all sectors of the community have a voice and will be heard, and whereas the community action is celebrating 58 years innovation impact, providing proven results for Americans. Now, therefore, the Benton County Supervisors do hereby proclaim May 2023 as a Community Action Month in recognition of the hard-working dedication of all city and or state community action agencies.
Proclamation, that one's for community action, this one's for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. You want a copy of this one?
Wrong one?
Yeah, that's my fault. I just sent Kara the wrong resolution to print. Sorry. I apologize. You want me to read this one?
You got it.
This one's on for next month.
It's already done.
Well, I forgot it on the printer at work, so then I sent Kara the wrong one to print, so I apologize. All right, so here is the proclamation for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. Whereas sexual assault affects women, children, and men of all racial, cultural, and economic backgrounds, and whereas in addition to the immediate physical and emotional costs, sexual assault may also have associated consequences of post-traumatic stress disorder, substance abuse, depression, homelessness, eating disorders, and suicide. And whereas sexual assault can be devastating not only to the survivor, but also for the family, friends, and community of the survivor. And whereas since no one person, organization, agency, or community can eliminate sexual assault on their own, we must work together to educate our entire population about what can be done to prevent sexual assault, support survivors and their significant others, and support those agencies providing services to survivors. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Supervisors in and for Benton County, on behalf of all staff and citizens of Benton County, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2023 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. All right. So we will sign this one. If you want to give me a second, I'll print it out, the other one. But we need a motion to approve that.
So moved.
I would second that.
Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you, young lady.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Beth. I sent it to Kara, so she'll bring it back in here.
Okay. No, no worries.
I don't have any issues with this. I just have a question or two. Barb, do you know exactly where the pole barn is being?
Right where
Placed.
where it says pole barn,
Yeah.
that is exactly where it's gonna be.
Okay,
What,
that's what I
what you can't really
thought.
see is he's coming off, there's a road
That's what I
right
was-
here, right
that's-
along there, yes.
Okay.
That is exactly where he's
I was gonna
accessing
say,
it.
and they're gonna get there how?
It's right
Okay.
along the edge there, but you can't really see it.
Yeah, it's covered up with a line.
But there is a road there.
Okay.
And evidently there is some sort of easements that he's having to deal with because there's other people back there that have access to that as well.
Okay, sweet, very good. Looks like everything's in place. Any thoughts or concerns,
I'm good.
gentlemen?
I'm still trying to figure out where it is on the map.
Oh, I'll show you.
Well,
See where it says pole barn?
what
I
he's,
know that.
he's
I'm talking
looking at
here.
this map.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
right above Kenneth Rick there.
Yep,
It's right there.
yeah. You can see there's kind of a little road
Yep.
that's doing a stair step. Mhm. So, with that being said, to move on, I would make a motion that we approve this farm exemption for 3N Corporation. Auto R Nobits,
Nope, yep.
the president.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Good job, Barb.
Thanks.
Look, here's this resolution, I'm gonna pass around the correct one. Yep.
Thanks again for that, Lord.
Just keep us posted what you wanna do.
I don't know just yet.
Well, you don't have to decide.
How about we do number 3?
Okay,
Make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 This is cool, I didn't really know this one.
I think it looks cool because of the wheel.
I know.
Second one coming.
I'll keep one and you can take one.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank
Have a
you.
beautiful day.
You too.
You too.
I just got that other one yesterday for that other proclamation for May, so.
It's already done.
You can replay the tape then. And
Yeah, yeah. I had it on the printer at work and then I forgot it, so then when I emailed Kara, I sent her the wrong one, so.
no biggie. Number 4,
So moved.
Well, do we know?
Well, it's just a acknowledgement.
Yeah.
We don't have to vote on it.
no,
Okay.
Last date will be the 14th.
okay, did not know.
Right later, April 14th.
And I would recommend, personally, I think we ought to try to keep HR going. And in my own personal belief, I think that person could use an assistant. Have 2 people in the office, so going forth. So, I don't know if you what the thoughts are, but if we do that, we would have to start a hunt, get it advertised, etc. You were on the last committee, obviously.
You really
So-
think it's gonna take 2 people?
With an assistant,
I
I
mean, that's a
don't-
lot of money in that office, so.
I get it, I get it.
I mean, I told you my thoughts, that we would take it back,
Mhm. Well,
because I've had a lot of employees reach out to me.
auditor's office shouldn't be, auditor's office to, watch the budgets and take care of the voting and everything else. I mean,
Yeah, but
oh
I'm
my
just
God,
trying to save
how big are your
taxpayers.
shoulders, girl?
No, I know, I have 5 people in there, but I just don't want the burden on taxpayers, especially
Right.
2 positions in that office, obviously would not be.
I ain't so
That's
sure.
my 2 cents.
And I'm not so sure we shouldn't wait till we get somebody hired and then ask them what they think or what's going on.
Which is
Get-
no problem.
Get a chance to get it settled, get them.
Mhm. So, the question is, are we going to, we went with that office. We thought it would streamline a lot of the employee situations, et cetera, and not burden her office. We get into voting season and she's just overwhelmed up there. So,
I
we're
don't-
going to advertise it or not, I told you my feeling.
I guess once we get somebody hired and get them in the office, then I'd let her decide whether she wants part-time help or.
He or she.
full-time. Yeah.
Okay, so you're in favor of keeping the position?
Are you gonna wait since that's not an action item?
It's not. Yeah, I understand that. So, and it's,
We're kind of new at this yet.
yeah, okay. But we still have her in the office so she could help, get something out there for advertising. Of course, Haley's office did that to start with. But,
Yeah. There's certain times of year where Haley's really busy.
well, she gets, again,
But if we know in advance, there was things, when Kirsten wasn't there, my office did the stuff anyway. We still have to field all that paperwork regardless. So my 2 cents are still going back to how I wanted it in the past. Outsource as needed basis for things, but keep things running smoothly.
why don't we put it on the agenda?
Yeah, because
I think that would be
I
wise.
would like to address some issues
Okay,
as well.
okay.
But yeah,
That's fine.
that's what I thought we would just,
Let's get through the budget and then put it on the
Yeah.
agenda. Okay. I think that would be wise.
but, so for now, you're acknowledging her last day is April 14th.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Reports.
Mine all bunched up. Remember, 6 in 1 week.
Mine too. I was gone last week. Took vacation.
Well, that's unusual.
Go somewhere fun?
Yeah, went down to the Ark.
Nice.
Left Friday about whenever the storms were coming up. 5 o'clock. Got back yesterday. No, Sunday. Well, we stopped down at Davenport, saw the son-in-law. Wonderful family.
How about you, Tracy? Any reports?
Got a few.
Hi, Myron.
Good morning. Zoom meeting on towers last Thursday. They got the driveways in out here,
They did.
and out here, Rogers, done.
So they're working on the towers now.
I don't know, they were trying to get the crane lined up to come now and stack this one. This one, we're waiting for the tower to actually come,
Oh, they don't have the towers there yet.
not this one. This one's gonna be a cable one, not a freestanding. That's one out here is a freestanding like Norway. They got the cement work all done at the tower down here at Kreitler's for the extra cables, the dumb waiters or whatever you wanna call them, that's in the ground. They got that done, and then they poured more cement around the base of it to hold it. But that, the cement work's all done down here. They haven't done anything to Belle Plain, because it's low ground, muddy down there, south of town and everything.
Sure.
So they haven't done anything with that one. They sent me an email, which we can't, I don't know if we gotta do anything with it, we'll let you guys look at it. This is about getting the FCC getting our own name on a channel that we can use.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you gotta, this is the permit and then all the information on the towers, and like I said, I just got it yesterday afternoon. So,
Have to pay for it, like a domain or something? For the name?
I didn't see, I never looked at it that close, cause like I said, I seen it last night, I kinda skimmed through it. But it's a request is what it is. So I'm gonna let you guys look at it later.
Okay.
We got time to kill
I get it.
today.
Yep.
Okay, that's pretty well it for the towers. Last Tuesday, since our meeting was screwed up, we had it on Monday. So Tuesday we come up, and I cut the cement out here for the sidewalk. And then Wednesday morning, I met with the weed department, brought their skid loader, and secondary roads let us use the flatbed truck. We got the sidewalk stays out of here,
Okay.
gone. Worked good, everything clicked like we're supposed to. So now they can come and put electrical down first before they start attacking the tree.
Okay.
And hopefully it'll be this week sometime.
They're gonna put the electrical first
Yes.
before the tree?
Yes, gonna bury it in the ground, yep.
Really?
Yeah, because you don't wanna drop that tree on that line that's laying on the ground now.
And the root system isn't gonna,
No,
Tear into
we're
the-
way far away from it.
okay, okay.
Way far, there's 30 foot. We're a good 30, 40 foot away from
Okay,
where they're gonna bury that.
all right.
But hopefully that'll be this week, and then also that we're gonna bury the line. We investigated that last Tuesday too, and there's electrical box over
Right.
here. We're gonna come out of here and run it over to the other building. The breaker will be over here, you know, so
Okay,
Rick at maintenance and me will work together on this.
okay, good,
But the only thing Elwick will do is just trench the way for us.
okay.
We'll get that done. Oh, one thing for you guys is information. The air conditioner unit up there in the trying to think what they actually call it. Or collection agency. It's no Freon in it again. And the way they mounted it years ago, it blows right on the girls. It's, you know what I mean?
So
They're
is
sitting there.
it, I'm not sure, is that like a through the wall unit?
Yes,
Okay,
yes. So it's been leaking last couple of years, and now through the winter, it's dead, there's nothing in it.
Right.
So Rick wants to put a brand new one in, you know what I mean, and actually move it so it ain't blowing the cold air on the girls that are sitting there. Move it up high, I suppose, I said whatever, he's, so I'm just giving you guys a heads up that he's doing it.
With a limestone foundation, you know, that building being limestone, is he gonna have to cut?
I don't
different-
believe so, because see, they're gonna mount it on the inside, they're gonna use the unit, see? It ain't like
Okay.
a window air conditioner that half in
Right.
and half out, it's just the lines.
Okay,
So the lines will still come in whatever portal that they got to get in there.
Okay.
They'll just extend the lines up higher.
all right. I was just concerned that they
Yeah.
might tear into the,
No,
Limestone
they're gonna
or
use the
something.
same holes, same
Okay.
everything.
okay,
Everything will be the same, except you're gonna have longer cords to the units. And the other thing is, the unit that's in there is 110, the new one he's going in is gonna be 220.
sure.
So it'll be bigger, better.
Won't have to work as hard.
Another 5 minutes yet, huh?
Use
East,
3 of those.
huh?
I can use 3 of those on
You can.
item 10, so.
Yeah, but you ain't on until 9:30, bud.
Yeah, but it can fit in item 10.
Okay. Go ahead.
If last year's Urbana Roundabout project didn't get fully completed before Mother Nature got cold, I was invited and met with the DOT and the contractor last week. They are planning to close that roundabout down completely, April 17th, to do all the remaining work. They anticipate 2 weeks or less to get that done. They will route the traffic on the same detour that was used last fall, which would be the Brandon Blacktop, as I call it, V71, from 150 north to Brandon, and what is that, D48 or something that goes east from Brandon back to 150. I would anticipate that 56th Street Trail will probably get used some, see more heavier traffic during that 2-week period there going south around Urbana, also during that time frame. But the DOT felt for the safety of all involved, it was better to close that down than to try to do another traffic. I know the contractor had a proposed plan trying to do it under traffic, but it still left a lot of fresh work unprotected during the nights and the weekends, and wanting to make sure that everything safely cured and was able to get its required strength and everything, so that it could be back opened up and the traffic could use it as it was intended to. Hopefully that 2-week period won't impact too much activity, but the contractor has all intentions of putting as many people on that at that point to try to get things going and done as quickly as possible.
Good.
They gonna put signage up, I hope?
Yes, they will. There'll be, I think they're putting up the electric billboards probably out on 30 or 150 and I-380 this next week. So there's a full 7 days out there before that all happens.
All sorts of rumors flying around as to why they're closing it. Yeah. I even heard that the concrete was bad and they're tearing it all out.
There's different things that are going on up there, but I
Yeah.
know there was some unfinished work that, particularly shoulder work, that couldn't get done. There may be some deficiencies that need to be addressed from last fall. I won't speak on that because I don't know fully what's
Sure.
all needed, but I think there's a few multiple things going on there.
A little disappointed they didn't make that a little wider. Boy,
I went through it last week and I was shocked.
it is, semi-traffic is really tough.
I was shocked.
It is pretty hard to stay on the road. It's a good thing that center has got sloped curves.
That is the intent with those, with
I know.
semi-traffic that you would be able to, rather than a hard curb, a angled curb so that the longer traffic, vehicles, trailers could ride up on that curb when
Sure,
going around
sure.
there.
And those poles are so close, it's just like, yeah, those are gonna come down. I went through there when it was icy, and I started sliding as I was trying to make the curve, and I headed right for a pole. Thank God it was a, curb, because it stopped me, so. What happened out south of town here? See, there's a utility pole or light pole down. Any clue?
No, I noticed that, on 218, I noticed that yesterday. I don't know if that had happened over the weekend for whatever reason. I don't recall seeing it yesterday morning at 7 o'clock when I came to town, but, when I was through that
It was down this
intersection later.
weekend. Yeah,
Was it over the weekend?
yeah.
I had, I noticed it 2 other times yesterday. We were traveling, but I didn't, for whatever reason, notice the first thing yesterday morning.
I didn't necessarily see any tire marks or ruts or any of that kind of stuff, and I didn't know that if the wind would have taken it or not, but
I wouldn't, well, it's possible.
anything, yeah.
Must've just been hailing.
Dust control season is right around the corner, so next Tuesday I will have a quote put together, or I'll have a cost put together for the county to offer our program and what that would need to be to cover costs. Also, next Tuesday, I'd like to take about 45 minutes, at least to an hour, and present the annual 5-year IDOT construction program that needs to be done by the 15th of April, as well as the budget that I submit to the DOT. I realize that the county's budget isn't due until April 30th, but the DOT's code hasn't changed on the 15th. So my budget is pretty much mirrored what the county's is, but every year we have to submit a 5-year program. So the modifications more or less to what you've seen a year ago, and maybe moving a few projects around from what years type of deal and adding a few projects for the new 5th year. But I would like to do that next Tuesday before the 15th deadline.
Do you want the MC70 and the Iowa DOT stuff on there?
Yes.
I'll put it in there and right now. We'll get-
Can you email that to me, Myron? I will not be here next week.
Yep.
I will call in, but
Sure.
it's not quite the same as having it in front of me.
Sure.
Continue.
Yeah, I've got 3 things going on here at the moment. I say you have the grand jury on your agenda later this morning. I have it earlier, and they're a little ahead of schedule, and I've,
Well, tell them come over here. Oh, no, it's time. Never mind.
radio equipment, I'm gonna get ordered. I don't need as many as Raycom had originally quoted for me. The only question I'm gonna pose to you that I could pose to the weed department is whether they want any radios in their equipment, but being a separate department, I wasn't including radios for their vehicles. I know they could get them at that same price as long as your project's still open, but I'll just throw that out.
Can
as
you,
a-
my personal opinion, can you add them on to your list?
Yeah,
Do that.
okay,
You know, instead of them trying to deal directly with Deanna.
I can add 4 and then we can talk
Yep.
about the costs internally.
Yep. Yep.
Because we're gonna talk about next week, I think, about some of what the ARPA funds could be used for.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Well, we said we'd give you 200,000 toward them.
I have the ARPA stuff on next week too.
That's what I
So,
mean.
Yep.
I think some of the things that the committee talked about last week are gonna be brought before the Board of Supervisors next week's meeting, just to formalize that. And I see how quickly the grand jury's running, whether or not I abbreviate item 3 here or not, only because it takes a little bit longer discussion, but my clock says 9:30, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to get my stuff done if I need to do the tour myself, because I've got somebody else that could do it, but is needed to go somewhere else first thing this morning. USA Communications, extension of a fiber line that they're doing down southern part of the county, did not include on the Benton, Iowa line between 25th Avenue and 23rd Avenue Drive to put fiber line in that road. All straightforward. The contractor's been doing a good job for us, so I have a utility permit for approval in St. Clair Township, which should be on the county line for that 1.5 miles.
Make a motion, we approve the utility permit for USA Communication in St. Clair Township.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
You got anything on that utility line going through Leroy Township, mile and a half south of Highway 30?
Yes. Haley just gave me the letter that the county received in the mail. It looks like it's that major transmission line that pretty much parallels Highway 30 a mile and a half south, and a meeting they've got coming up next month to talk about the improvements that they are
I think I
wanting to do.
emailed you guys that too, but did you guys want the map emailed? Okay, I'll send a map, or I could scan that whole pack too.
Second thing on the agenda, Norway maintainer operator Cody Madison was hired on October 10th. That means April 10th will be 6 months on the job. With the union contract, they get a pay increase at 6 months. So a resolution to increase his pay from $24.75 to $25.30 per hour. That would be effective April 10th, and his labor grade classification will change from a 5A to a 5B.
So moved.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Primer, aye.
Here's a guy.
Seaman, aye.
While you're signing that, I'll try to talk about item 3 and double check my phone here as I'm talking. ISAC has asked for county engineers to help out but there's currently a Senate Bill SF 550 out there in the committee that talks about eliminating the local option sales tax and creating a 1% additional sales tax. If the state makes a 1% or makes an increase in sales tax, the first 3/8 of the cent goes to the natural resources, but I say natural resources, but what did they actually call that initially when they did that? The Iowa Water and Land Legacy Trust Fund. So 3/8 of a cent would go to that. The other 5/8 of the cent would be an additional sales tax, but it would eliminate the local option sales tax as it has been used and originally established in many counties and cities. Although the 3/8 of the cent would be well used in that Iowa Water and Land Legacy Trust Fund, is this the best way to go about creating that 3/8 cents? And I have been given a draft resolution. It was passed in Powashik County just last week. Just to read their resolution, whereas the voters of Powashik County and the cities within the county have voted to enact a 1 cent local option sales tax in accordance with Iowa Code 423B, and whereas the revenue derived from that tax is used for road and bridge improvements, public safety facilities, and property tax relief, and whereas the residents of Powashik County have grown to rely on these revenues as a means to reduce property taxes. And whereas the 2023 legislative session has seen the introduction of Senate File 550, which proposes to convert the local option sales tax efforts into a statewide sales tax and impose the local option sales tax and levy jurisdiction, thereby triggering the constitutional amendment to require the allocation of 3/8 cents to the Iowa Water and Land Legacy Trust Fund. It's been called the I Will, I think. Whereas Senate File 550 proposes to backfill revenue lost due to the proposal, there are some concerns as to the legislator's ability to continue backfilling that revenue. And whereas voters across Iowa who have voted to either implement a local option sales tax or not to do so, and whereas voters across Iowa have voted to utilize the local option sales tax, have approved a revenue purpose statement, abbreviated as a RPS. The county did that in '08 when they enacted the local option sales tax. Senate File 550 also sunsets all those provisions come January 1st, 2025, after which no jurisdiction will have the authority to take either a lost proposal or revenue purpose statement to a vote, essentially deleting the local government's ability to have a local option sales tax. Therefore, be it resolved by the Poweshiek County Board of Supervisors would like to express their support for the current local option sales tax. The current law best represents the interest of the voters and further reduce the property taxes, which is the common goal of the county and the Iowa legislature. The Board of Supervisors supports the Iowa Water and Land Legacy Trust Fund. However, Senate File 550 as currently written would not only strip the county of control over local option sales tax revenues, would effectively disregard the will of the voters. Signed by the 20th day of March by the Poweshiek Board of Supervisors.
Do the Poweshiek Board of Supervisors have a local option sales tax now?
Yes, they do. Benton County, has the local option sales tax that 25% is to go for property tax relief, and then 75% of it can be used for secondary roads, Benton County conservation parks, libraries, and emergency services, or any other lawful purpose. As I understand that bill as it's proposed, you won't see a local option sales tax coming to you after January 1st of 2025. It will become a state sales tax, distributed as state sales tax is. Supposedly getting backfilled to some degree, some of that back from the state. How that will work and whether it will equal what you've done in the past or not. Certainly those counties that get a lot of revenue from the local option sales tax are going to be impacted much more directly than some of the smaller counties or less businesses, but everybody is going to see it affect them in the sense that it's not going to work like it used to in the past. It's not directly coming to you now. That resolution that I read Poweshiek County had put together and passed, I have a draft one here today that says the exact same thing. The only thing in that second line where it said, well, you heard me say bridge and road improvements and public safety, something in property tax relief. I had put in here basically what your local option sales tax message was, and that the revenue derived from the tax is used for secondary road improvements, conservation parks, libraries, emergency services, and property tax relief. If you feel that the Senate File 550 is going in the wrong direction and what I read has the same, you have the same thoughts, if action meets the agenda items, I have this resolution in hand if you want to take a vote on it, and I will scan it and get it to County Engineers Organization to get it to the legislators so that they hear Benton County's perspective on Senate File 550.
Well, I'd make a motion that we support the resolution that Myron has prepared for Benton County.
I'm all, same way, I'm against
All for it.
550.
Yeah,
I'm against
Think about, we fund our libraries, all sorts of things with that.
exactly. Fire
fire
departments,
departments, that's what I'm thinking.
ambulances, you
Yeah.
know, yeah, you name it, yeah. So that's my motion.
I'll second it then.
Resolution, Primer I.
Your shank eye.
Seaman, aye.
Myron, thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Not a problem. Say there's,
I've been watching, you guys get those every Friday too from ISAC,
Yep.
because the comp board one's still a big issue out there.
Yeah.
There's a few of them.
county engineers don't have a paid lobbyist on the state floor type of deal, or I know supervisors used to, or I know
Yeah,
the,
I think they do, we have Jamie Cashman, but I think they have,
well, I mean, kind of lived over in Trier. Mike Lanzine used to be involved quite heavily for the supervisors years ago, and I remember who replaced him, but ISAC always has one of their, somebody on their staff that's looking out for all the departments in the counties, and
Thank
we
you,
do
sir.
have a county engineer that tries to stay on top of it, that does make a quick run to the state house if need be, and he sent out a mass email last week asking for support from the county engineers on the, at the request of ISAC, so.
remembered that one for us.
Okay. If you have more for me, I can try to answer it or come back. I do have a text that the grand jury's at my place, and I was gonna try to add my 2 cents for them or answer any questions I have while they're too in Seminary Road facility.
Get out of here.
All right? We'll see you
And thank
next
you.
week, and we'll email you that
Thank
stuff
you.
ahead of time so you have it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, Myron.
See ya.
Myron, if you have that available now, I'd prefer it sooner than later.
I don't have it all completed yet, but
Yeah.
I will,
Okay.
once I have it put together, I will get it to you. So
Okay.
I've got time to look at it.
Because I can print it off in color now. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
sure.
Is there anything else, sir, or do you want to take a 45-minute recess?
Looking at that.
Yeah, a quick deal. I also had Eastern Iowa Housing Trust Fund. And remember here, a couple months ago, I told you they stuck me on being vice chair on that committee. Of course, the president wasn't, the chair was not there at that meeting, so I had to run that one. But we had a deal that we give money to for a rehab project in Baringo. And somehow or another, it got kind of screwed up. They rehabbed a couple of units down there, and the bill or estimate was per unit. Nobody caught it. We thought it was for both units.
For a total?
Yeah. So that was I mean, everybody, the
Taken by
owner screwed up.
surprise.
Yep, the owner screwed up. The trust fund screwed up because we didn't catch it. It says it right in their application and everything, per unit. Nobody caught it. So then what we end up doing, that, we made a loan. We did not give them the extra money free. So,
They're usually low-interest loans.
0%.
Yeah,
That's low.
I could handle some of that.
Yeah, okay, and then when it come to Easy Cog, I did investigate about the generators and the trees. The trees, no big deal, you know, anybody can apply for them, but the generators, there cannot be no public office, like the courthouse can't get it, this building can't get it. I was trying to weasel into the transportation building, you know? And they said, well, if the offices wasn't in there,
Yeah,
but like a fire station, you know, different things like that. Well, the fire stations, most of them, I know, already have their own generators.
Yeah, that's the same way here. Most of them do.
Yeah. So, I thought, you know, hey, we can get something for nothing, but ain't gonna be that way. So, that's it. So, now I will.
take a motion to recess
Yeah.
until 10:30 when the
Yeah.
grand jury
Right.
arrives.
I bet they'll even come sooner, so.
That would be
I think
nice,
they're
until
on
the,
schedule.
my motion is until the grand jury gets here.
Perfect.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It'd be,
There's
5 or 6.
6 and 31, it's right here. Okay, and that's what they're talking here. And it's gonna pass through 30, which is right here,
I turned this back on, guys.
according to this.
Yeah.
According to this, that's Highway 30,
Mm-hmm.
Where'd we go?
and it's just a continuation is
Right.
what it is.
Right.
But it's not right. You want this?
We got it back on now. We also have that,
Haley, do you know if Ray has gone through this lease then?
I talked to him about it, so he's looked at it too, and then that's why I included,
So next week we'll have his,
I think so. I believe
Okay.
that's when he thought it would be ready, because today obviously he's busy, so.
okay,
But Lorraine wants to come as well, Spencer from Cedar Valley Ranch, so.
You read that one?
can't tell you.
I'm sure you did.
No, I have not.
They took a substation out.
South of Henry Seats. That's REC.
Oh, that one's REC.
Mm-hmm.
What I don't understand is they're already putting new poles in to that one a mile and a half south of 30.
Mm-hmm.
They already did that.
We discussed this,
I know, that's what I
Yeah.
had Ray bring it to you.
but I hadn't seen that.
Okay.
Yeah. Do we have any 2-drawer filing cabinets?
I believe so.
Do they lock?
No, but we can get it. They can get a, put a lock system on them.
You talking the ladder, the vertical or lateral ones? If there's two different.
vertical. I'm just thinking if we had some that would fit under the table, I don't know if they would or not,
I don't know if they would.
pretty short.
Have to check,
Okay.
have to check in the hallway.
Have you heard anything on the, like the essential service notice they put out or anything? That, remember you and I went to the Indian meeting?
No, I
Is that
haven't heard.
coming
We got
up?
a certified letter in the mail yesterday about this.
About
Where the
that,
school
yeah.
redistricting.
because it's
Yeah.
going through your land.
But
Okay.
I didn't get all this.
In fact, they were supposed to have a
You
meeting
got
in
the
March,
letter.
and they canceled that
Yeah.
March meeting.
Yeah, that's what I got,
Oh, really?
the
Yeah.
letter.
They had that, and then the tenant used to.
That came from Myron,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and now I guess I've been going,
Might have.
you wanna keep this one?
Yeah, I can, do you want me to scan it all to you or just keep it
No,
on file?
that's good enough, I can wait till the meeting too.
If Ray gets that lease ready beforehand, would you see if he could send that to us?
Yeah, my
please?
guess is he's gonna wait until he hears
Or what she
what we
wants.
all say in here and then he would probably do
Okay.
it.
All right.
I got him working on the contract for Ben, IT Ben.
Good.
Mm-hmm. Figured she was.
Yeah, well, I thought they were right there, so.
It went across the hall.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're live?
We're live.
Okay.
Katie had them right there and then they must have stuffed it in the DHS. I think.
Okay, you guys were up against the map. and I
We
went
could have
out.
sat down. It's okay. It'd just be handy to have file cabinets or something.
Mhm.
Then I wouldn't have to keep it over there, and you wouldn't have to keep it up on the windowsill. There was some concern expressed regarding the building and having emergency exits. That side of the building you can get out because most of those have doors. If it's on the north side of the building, they're gonna have to throw a window or something through the window to get out. And they're probably gonna have to crawl up to get out. That was
How
a
did they,
concern that was expressed to me.
how'd they go about it whenever it was a school?
They filed out in the hall and took off.
Lined up and went outside.
Yeah.
We had little drills. Did you also look at the eminent domain house file stuff?
Mhm.
The only thing that I can see
a lot.
different is
Try to
the house, the
understand
rooms
it.
are divided into
I don't
different
get it.
rooms.
I don't get it. I try to not rattle Tom's cage, because I run into
Well,
him.
that's,
You know, if it's food on the weekend, I'll find Tom somewhere. You know, and I
Yeah.
don't wanna rattle his cage all the time, you know.
yeah. I did send him some on the supervisor district stuff. We just have some interesting ones too. And we don't know if our election bill will go forward. It's kind of stalled out, but yet.
You know, on that arc, they got the trees out of western part of the United States.
Oh, really? My brother's been down there twice.
I'm going back.
Really?
It's they got, it's amazing. And to think that he built that, the first ark, in less than 200 years. It's amazing. And the guy that built it is Amish. And he had an 8th grade education and graduated from Harvard. He had an 8th grade education, he got accepted to Harvard, studied 5 years, 1 year overseas. And those Amish guys, they can get work done. They can move. You know, Davy's barn up there, my brother's barn, that thing was huge.
Mm-hmm.
It was huge. I bet you it was the biggest barn, probably 4 or 5 counties. It was huge.
Mm-hmm.
This guy built a barn a little northeast of where this ark is at. It's the biggest barn anywhere. I don't know if he used leftover wood from out west or what they did. It's amazing. It's just,
They don't have tornadoes down there, that's why. They're straight line winds.
you know, it was pretty windy when we were down there. Because that wind that was here, it went all across.
What do you think of the Iowa basketball game?
We won't go there.
I'll tell you what, that was on the news last night. They're not real happy with what happened as far as the officiating is concerned.
So they had a big welcoming for him last night in our city.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're gonna have a whole party this week sometime. You go out east, they don't even know who's playing.
They said it pulled in more people to view than any other sport thing has.
Do you play basketball in high school?
No, I was on the C team. I did drill team. I was a dancer. My kids did not get their athletic skills from me. But two do college sports, but yeah, I don't take the credit for that. They get their height from my side of the team.
Eckenrod had us do 430 push-ups and sit-ups one night.
How many a night?
430 one night.
Why were you doing so many in one night?
Don't know.
Just to see?
I wasn't even sore the next day.
Was this yesterday?
That's quite a deal. We'd run a half hour of stairs a night before we do warm-ups. We were in the old school.
The tape from the resolution.
You get done with football, and then you go to wrestling practice and you'd be sore. Quite a deal.
So you were a wrestler too?
Yeah. couldn't wrestle my friends. I pinned 13 my senior year, 13 guys, I think, something like that. And I started out JV.
Nice.
Whatever.
Well, we're talking sports. Tracy, what did you play?
What's that?
Did you guys play anything in high school?
Nope. Yes,
What'd you play?
football, wrestling, and track. Yeah.
I couldn't go out for track.
All 4 years.
Dad needed help at home. He never went to any of my wrestling meets much. And then I was down at Prairie and the ref was drunk. And I reversed this guy, and the ref gave the other guy points. And I turned around, and my dad was standing on the mat. Whatever.
Get it technical.
It didn't matter. It was more fun watching. Whatever.
You have one, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't wait for you today.
You had it, didn't even give it to you.
Here you go. This one's got more information on it than yours.
Hello?
Hello. Don't worry. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You guys could take a seat.
Yeah, get off your feet a little bit, we've been walking a lot.
Let's not spend too long at the engineer.
There's
Oh,
more
and
chairs up
tonight.
here
Oh,
or
he was
over there,
leaving
wherever
here.
you'd like.
Yep.
So as an introduction, this is the board of supervisors, Tracy Seaman, Gary Beershank, and Rick Primer. They make all the decisions about how money's spent, what things are, how operations are to be done in this county. This is kind of, for lack of a better word, it's the brain of the county. I say that lightly, but, every Tuesday we have board of supervisor meetings that are televised, on YouTube, so
Smile, you're on camera.
So maybe the board wants to talk a little bit, or you guys have questions for the board, but,
It'd be nice if they could introduce themselves. Could we start with you, young lady?
Sure. My name is Veronica Delgado. I live in Keystone.
I'm Donna Morlock, I live in Garrison. Sharon McElrath, I live here in Benton.
Aaron Schmidt, I live right here.
Josh Kramer, Center Point.
Joe Marshon, I live in Atkins.
Nice to meet you all. Of which I know some of you, but you know.
we have one more member.
Oh, there she is, huh?
I drink a lot of water, I'm sorry.
This is our fourth person, Lindsay Jans.
Hi.
And where are you from, Lindsay?
Keystone.
Keystone. Very good.
Well, I'm not from there, but I live there.
Currently from there.
Correct.
All right, good. Anyone have questions for us?
Well, can you introduce yourself?
Well, as Ray tried to introduce ourselves,
Tracy Seaman, Benton County Supervisor from Newhall.
Gary Beershank, supervisor from Blairstown.
Rick Primer, and I'm from Benton.
And I'm Haley Ripple, your county auditor, commissioner of elections. And I'm the secretary to the board of supervisors as well.
So a lot of what they do here is they'll have hearings on things like land use requests, or maybe one of the departments has a budget issue, they wanna hire somebody, or they wanna expand. All of that goes through Haley, who then schedules it, and then, once it gets on the schedule, then you will appear here and talk to the board about what you wanna talk about, and then they make a decision. Some of their meetings are not not open to the public. There's a statute that controls when you can close the meeting to discuss things like employment or legal action and things of that nature. So we're set up where we can basically do that, flip with some switches. So it's your chance to ask the board about plans they might have, or just how things are going and that sort of thing. So don't be shy.
Any questions?
We moved over here, how many years ago? Probably
It's during
3.
COVID. Yeah.
Yeah, and where we had the space in the courthouse. It's pretty nice to have it in the courthouse because of all the, the offices that are there. But there's so much more room here. And so, once we vacated our space, it was quickly swallowed up with other office usage. And I believe that is isn't that juvenile?
Yep, the state.
So, yeah, which is kind of handy because it's right next to the clerk's
How
office.
often do you meet?
Once a week.
Once a week?
Scheduled meetings are once per week, Tuesday, 9 a.m. We can meet with a 24-hour notice. Again, it has to be, posted. And so, but that doesn't mean we just do once a week. Does it, Tracy?
No. We're on a lot of boards. For me, I'm on Conservation Board, I'm on the Landfill Board, I'm on EasyCog, Eastern Iowa County Government in Cedar Rapids, Iowa Housing Trust Fund. I know there's more, but I can't, evidently they're not important.
Well, they're important, they just hard to pop right off the top of your head.
The E911,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's important.
And he's on the ARPA Fund Committee as chairman. And he's also, since he's the chairman, he's also working with the radio towers. Last year, we did a bond issue. I believe that was like 5.2 million.
That was borrowed,
That is correct.
but the total project is 7.25.
Correct.
And what that is, we're getting 3 brand-new towers, one in Norway, one east of Benton here about 4 miles, one out here by Rogers Park. We're reworking the one south of a town here on Kreitner's ground. We're just gonna put some more cables to beef it up to hold the new satellite dishes. What we had before was the old-fashioned antenna on all these towers, the way the county communicated, whether it was fire department, sheriff's department, state troopers, 911. Now we're going to microwave, the regular dishes. Not happy about it. We're forced to do this from the state. I guess right now, Benton County, I look at it, we're an island. We didn't keep up with the times. We're still on the antenna stuff. Our neighbors, Buchanan County, north of us, Tama County, Johnson County, Iowa County, Lynn County, they're all on the microwave new system. So like our deputy sheriffs right now cannot talk to our neighbors from car to car if they have an accident or a fire. Fire department's the same way, they cannot communicate between the two agencies. They gotta use a cell phone, or they actually gotta call radio up to Benton here. Benton's got a radio down to Lynn County or Tama County, wherever so we're getting caught up on this. we're shooting for this whole new system to come online, 1st of January of this coming year. So, having a lot of meetings on this, the different towers, you know, like I said, if you can see these new towers, to me, it's amazing that, south of, Belle Plaine is where the tower is down there, and we're just beefing that one up. We don't have to do too much of that one. But then we're putting the one in Norway. There's so many aspects of this you can't believe that you gotta deal with. The tower in Norway right now is a 100-footer, and it's on the north end of the town, in the city park, on the edge of the city park. All right, there is I gotta be politically correct, written law, that you can't have a tower within eyesight of a cemetery. Now, this did not get passed until, I believe it was the late 70s or early 80s. Well, the tower in Norway, you can go to the cemetery north of town and you can see that tower plain as day. So we applied for an exemption to put this new tower there. Now, the new tower is 300 foot. And we can't tear the 100-footer down yet because, of course, we're still using it. So now, if you get on Highway 30 on a clear day, right before you get to Hope's, the Bridal Boutique, or take a look south. You'll see the little tower and the big tower right next to each other. So, but I mean, this is one of the deals that we did get an exemption. We did get to put the new tower up there. And of course, it's definitely within eyesight of the cemetery north of town. East of town here, there's never been a tower here, and that's a brand new one from scratch. And then the one at Rogers Park was not heavy enough to hold these 6-foot fiberglass dishes on here. So we had to tear that tower down, and now we're building another one back up there to replace that one. So that's about it for the tower system.
It's kind of like years ago, we were with the old televisions. We had the boxy type televisions, which was, you know, and then everybody switched over to digital, and you had to go to the flat screens or get a converter box. And well, that's Benton County. We were behind the times, and so we were fortunate enough. You know, basically $7.25 million is a lot of money, but we were fortunate enough to piggyback on with another county, and we avoided some of their inflationary costs. So it was fortunate that we were able to do that. They kept the price, you know, for us if we would do that. So we did. We saved some pretty good taxpayer money doing that. Yeah.
Well, the other thing on the bond issue, when we did borrow the money here back in January, right, Haley? We got the interest rate locked in for 1.5%.
Yeah.
So that saves the taxpayers a lot of money, because we don't have, we're gonna use $2 million of the ARPA funds. We got 4.9 million, am I correct?
Yep.
From the ARPA funds. We're gonna use at least 2 million of that to offset this tower project, so that leaves 5.2 million that we borrowed.
Hey, can you tell what ARPA is?
Yeah, American Rescue Plan Act, so it's coming down from the federal funds. I think it was implemented originally to help with COVID expenses. So when they first provided it to the counties, we were very restricted on what we could use it for. So a lot of it was for infrastructure and that broadband stuff. So we knew that would offset our radio project to begin with. But then since then, they've opened it up that we could use it for other tax relief. So we're doing other projects in the county. We're doing like some scanning of documents. I don't know if you've been in my office or the recorders, the old transfer books, real estate records. It's the history of the county, basically, on every property that's been transferred or owned. We're gonna have all that stuff scanned, documented, so that it's easily searchable online, along with the Board of Supervisors minutes, those are all record books that we keep, so we're archiving all that. So it'll be useful, like if we were in another situation, say we had to work from home type thing, it would all be accessible to the public and the employees to continue the services that we provide to the county residents. So there's a lot of projects like that going on. I know conservation, if you want to talk on some of theirs that we're using the funding for.
Yeah, Conservation's gonna put up a brand new building, and it'll be starting here in the next week or two down in Hand Lake. Be new office, new shop, which they are in need of down there. They don't have nothing but basically a two-stall garage to store everything. And I guess the other thing that they want to, we haven't nailed that down yet, they wanna get a shower house out here to Wildcat by Urbana. And right now, there is no place to take a shower at that park or anything on that property.
Conservation has several projects they're working on right now. It's a very busy place.
Well, they've got the expansion going on, adding, what is it, 184 acres to Wildcat?
Yeah.
And so Wildcat will be comparable to many state parks. They'll have over 300 acres there. And that is through some grant funding that they are purchasing the property. So,
They're just now purchasing it, it's not buyer.
correct. Yeah.
They're hoping to raise enough money that it won't really cost the taxpayers. So the local Heritage Foundation offered to fund it upfront with intent that the conservation would raise enough to pay for it. So.
Another thing the board is doing is they've authorized the county, or on behalf of the county, to join into 2 national opioid settlement cases. One against the manufacturer of opioids and the second against the distributors. And in the first settlement, it's manufacturers, I think we got 90,000 already out of that. And then they're anticipating the second settlement to start to be finalized after the end of this month, after it's going to join as joined. So that money's got some pretty restrictive uses, but it will help in the fight against addiction and mental health, drug-related problems, which every county is experiencing. It's not unique to Benton County or whatnot, but it's at least money we're getting to help us with that battle.
We're always trying to apply for anything that comes up for grants that we're passed through, but then we're always restricted on the use. And there's reportings and stuff that we have to follow, but. So we try to save our taxpayers where we can, but as you know, it's tough with prices that keep increasing. But yet we're required to provide the services still, even if it's mandated funding that they take away from the state to the local levels, then we have to eat that difference, so.
Well, we're glad you're trying to save us tax monies, because we all just found out today that our taxes are gonna raise
Yeah.
25 to 30%.
You were in the assessor's office today, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
Yep. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
we have to do those things.
When we're not in this room, this is utilized then as a conference room for many of the offices. Haley, you've been over here.
Yep, I've
with-
hosted district training. We have other organizations too in the community that know it's here. And so if it's accessible and it's open, we let them utilize it too.
Is there anything you guys need to make your job easier? Or are you happy with your
He was just
setup?
saying he needed some file cabinets.
Yeah.
Just the little things that we miss from the old conference
Yeah,
rooms.
the other boardroom, we had desk, if you will, where we're using tables here. And those desks had drawers where we could keep our paperwork, etc. Tracy currently uses the corner up there as part of his. I use a corner in the closet back there, and it's not as convenient as you would like it to be. So, yeah, but the table situation works good when there's other meetings going on here, so.
Yeah, you just take like you guys, for example, by the time you all would get into our old supervisor's room, it'd be pretty tight.
Yeah.
Standing room only, yeah. That's one nice thing about moving over here.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Mhm. Parking's easier, et cetera, so, yeah. It was a good move. We saved the county a lot of money when we purchased this building. This building would probably have been excess of 2 million if we would have built it, probably closer to 3. And I believe we purchased it for around 300. Yeah, something like that, so.
I would imagine that you would save a lot in just maintenance from this building to this building to this building and just combine it in one, right?
Correct.
And then
Yeah.
some of the buildings we were utilizing before were not. They weren't new.
Well, they weren't handicap accessible,
Yeah,
et cetera, so.
there was a lot of problems with them.
Yeah.
They were,
Now we're all in one area.
Right.
That's what's nice.
Yeah.
Having a lot of the services here, DHS, we got the Abbey Center, mental health, VA, so you
Yeah.
betcha.
Today's the food pantry day, so when you guys tour this building, you may notice
they
that
saw
too.
that,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
Busy down
It was
there.
very busy on that end.
We didn't go to the Abbey Center, but, we had to see everything else in the building.
Yeah.
We did the courthouse and
Yeah.
secondary roads, so.
We haven't been in the jail yet.
the other, I don't know if you're gonna see it or not, but the transportation center, we were able to build that
That's next.
where.
Oh, it's
That
next,
was all.
okay,
Yep.
Good.
Next.
And that was
Transportation
grant
and jail.
money too, so.
yeah,
We
Yeah,
got
but
grant through
At least
Easy
we
Come.
had a place to build it.
Yep,
right.
Where before, when we were downtown, it was, everybody was wanting the space, so it got expensive.
And Greg Walston would tell you, if you were meeting with him about the garden out here, it is unbelievable the amount of fresh vegetables that the volunteers grow for the food pantries. And it's distributed throughout the county because food pantry in Belle Plaine as well. And I believe some of the fresh vegetables even goes beyond our county
some of them go
borders.
to the schools, don't they?
I think they have in the past, yes, but, so,
Last Tuesday when I was over there, they're complaining now that the tomatoes grew so good with their grow light. They need to be getting them planted, because they were about this tall and they're spindly, and the weather's not cooperating,
and they started them all from seed.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions? You guys ready to walk again?
Well, thank you one and all for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for serving, yeah.
Thank you all, that's very interesting.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Are we ready to adjourn?
Yep.
So
Anything else?
moved.
I don't think so.
And I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.